Hi, and a huge exciting welcome to Steve's Kitchen. Why exciting? Because today we're going to make a chicken Caesar burger, which is going to be delicious. We're also going to be making the bun without an oven. We're going to be doing it on the stove top. How's that going to work? Well, I'm about to show you. So come on, let's get to make one of the best burgers you're ever going to try. First of all, I want to take a cup of bread flour. Now, that's about 150 grams. Bread flour is best. You could use all-purpose flour, but bread flour gives you a nicer texture for this bread. Now, I'm using half a cup of thick cream, but you could also use buttermilk for this. Pour that in with the flour. I also want to add in 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of turmeric. Now, this is the secret ingredient that's going to make these rolls pop and look and taste delicious. We're also going to add some black pepper. Now, this mixture will be a little bit dry, but we're going to start to mix it together. Now, we have this crumb here. Now, I want 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Add that into my crumb. So it's a cup of flour, half a cup of cream, and we've got 1/4 cup of water, but don't put it all in. We're going to probably put about half of that water in. Start to draw this together, and I'll show you the consistency that we want. Now just pull the dough off of the fork and get my hands in there and start to bring this together. Now, it should be quite a wet dough, but not too wet that you can't handle it. So if it's a little sticky like that, just dust a little extra flour and continue to knead the dough until it all comes away from the side of the bowl. Now we're just going to pull that out, and I am just going to knead this for 3 to 4 minutes just to develop some gluten in the flour. Now you'll see our dough, it's quite soft, it's quite silky. We don't need to over knead this. What I'm going to do is just take that, pop it back into the bowl. We're going to cover that over and leave it while we get on and prepare the rest of our Caesar burger. Now for this chicken Caesar burger, it's going to be all about this beautiful Caesar dressing. So let me show you how to make the most delicious Caesar dressing. We start with these little salty anchovies. I want a couple of salted anchovies. Now I've got my big chopper out. I'm just going to dice these up nice and small. And then we've got a clove of garlic. Now I'm just going to nip the end off. That'll peel most of the skin off. Nip this end off as well and get the majority of the skin off. Little pop with the side of the knife. The last bit of skin comes off. Now I just want to take a little bit of rock salt, pop it onto the garlic, and I'm going to use the edge of my knife just to grind this up a little bit. Now I'm going to bring the anchovies in with the garlic, give this one last little chop through. So we've got this wonderful thick paste. I'm just going to pop that into a mixing bowl. Next, we just want to take an egg, and I only want the yolk for this, so let's just cut that open, catch the yolk in your hands, pop it in with our paste. A little bit of lemon juice to go in there. Let's just give that a squeeze. Doesn't need too much. Now I'm going to add about a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, a little bit of black pepper, half a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Now I'm just whisking those ingredients together. Now you see how loose and thin that is at the moment? This is where I'm going to add in my olive oil. Now I'm just going to drizzle it in, and what you'll notice, we're probably going to go with about 1/4 cup of oil in total, and the emulsification between the oil and the eggs is going to make this a beautiful thick sauce. So we've got this beautiful rich Caesar dressing, which is a little bit like a mayonnaise. So we've got that delicious sauce. Time to make those really fascinating rolls. Now, of course, you can use shop bought if you like, but I urge you to give this a try. You are going to need a pan with a fairly solid base because a thin base will burn the rolls. So our dough has proved a little bit. I'm going to pop that down on the side now. This will make 4 rolls, so I'm just going to divide it up. I'm going to divide it into quarters. Cup your hand over the bread. Roll it around to develop some tension. Don't push too hard. And you want this lovely little dome, but we're not going to be baking it like that. Take the flat of your hand and push this fella down nice and hard because we want the size of the finished roll. So you can see how thick it is. It's probably about 1/2 inch thick. Now, low flame, not too high, thick base to your pan. Let it warm up a little bit, and then we're going to put our bread in the center. If you're using a bigger pan, then side by side will do. I didn't mention, but you do need actually a lid on your pan as well, just to trap some of the moisture in there. Now we're not going to touch this for about 5 minutes. We're just going to let it bake slowly in the pan. Now it's just over 5 minutes, maybe 5.5 minutes. If I lift that off, you can see the edge of the bread is just starting to cook. That's still a little bit soft, so I'm going to leave it in there a little bit longer. I'm waiting for a little bit of a feel of baked bread on the side, and I'm just going to get a spatula under there and turn this over. You've got that beautiful brown underneath now. I'm going to do about 2 minutes face down. Now that's a couple of minutes. Just going to take that out, give it a little flip over. We see got that lovely golden top. It's not quite cooked. The last minute, I'm just going to cover that over. I'm just going to take that out of there now and pop it down on the side to cool down. Now I've got these lovely chicken tenderloins. I'm just going to lay them out on the plate here. Sprinkle them over with a little bit of salt. I've got this Cajun spice. I just love this spice. I'm going to coat my chicken with it. A little bit of black pepper as well. Now back into my pan. I'm going to put a little bit of oil in the pan, maybe about a tablespoon. I want to take those chicken tenders. I'm going to lay them with the spice side down, so with the seasoned side down in the pan. I want to season the back of the chicken as well. Now we don't want to overcook these. When they start to brown on the back, I'm just going to turn them round. Then while they're still just a little bit soft, we're going to take them out and leave them to rest on a plate. Now let's pull this all together while it's still warm. I'm really proud of these rolls. They're a little bit like an English muffin. You can actually just put a fork around the side, and then if it's cooked just right, you should be able to just pull it open like that. How beautiful is the crumb in there? Now I'll pop my base down here. I've got some French fries. Now I made these French fries really quickly. They're very simple to do. Just cut up some potatoes, season them, a little bit of oil, and then just pop them in the oven and bake them for about 35 to 45 minutes until they're golden brown. Now I just want to put some lettuce down on the base of my bun, and we're going to grate some Parmesan cheese over the lettuce. Don't worry if it gets on your serving plate a little bit. I think it'll look quite nice. Now we're going to take some of that Caesar dressing and I want to drizzle it over the lettuce. Now take those pieces of chicken fillet and we want to lay them across the bun like this. Build it up as high as you like. A little more Parmesan cheese just on top. Shredded over there. That looks beautiful. Some more of our fresh lettuce. And again, I'm going to drizzle my beautiful Caesar dressing over the top of that. Now, if you like, you can just put the top of your bun on the side, or if you wish, you can go with that bun on top, stab a knife down through the center, and there it is. You really should share this across with your friends on some social media, because if you haven't tried this Caesar salad burger, you haven't tried any burger. And I know there are loads of burgers out there with all sorts in, but trust me, this is going to be delicious. Now I am going to have one of these French fries. We've got some photographs. They're cooling down a little bit, but I'm so hungry. Oh, yummy. They're good, but we didn't tune in today just for French fries. Shall I go for the whole thing? Yeah, let's pull a knife out. Here goes, the best Caesar salad burger you'll ever taste. Bon appetit. You know what I'm going to say? That is so delicious. I hope you give this a try. If you do so, send some pictures to me. I'd love to see how you get on, and share the love, give this the thumbs up. And we will see you very shortly, because we've got some great new series coming up on Steve's Kitchen, particularly those of you that are into healthy smoothies. Check that out, coming soon. Be good. See you then.